For this Z06 observations video number 3, I'll be looking at the rear view mirror setup. I will also be looking at gas consumption, then a cruising in manual mode trick you might kind of like, and then finally the blank infotainment screen and possibly even the gauges screen issues that I have personally experienced. So let's get gassed up, because here we go. Welcome to Road Odyssey. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you like the videos that I provide, please subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, check out my Facebook page. Join me there. I have really thoroughly enjoyed my C8 Z06 and even my 2020 C8 Stingray. Both fantastic cars, super fun to drive. So in this video, we're going to be looking at setting up your rear view mirror, gas consumption, cruising in tour mode trick, and blank infotainment screen. Also, the display gauge screen can have little quirks as well. So we're going to look into this. Here is a typical setup. You have your particular angle for viewing straight behind your car. This is how the mirror is set up for the convertible C8s when the top is down. This is because you're literally using the mirror as with common cars. Cars without cameras in your rear view mirror. The setup is at an angle in the neighborhood of about 45 degrees, more or less, or perpendicular to your view at the mirror and behind the car. When the C8 convertible top is up or in the coupes, you can be using the camera mode. Now, the mirror should be pointed as directly at you as possible. You know, something like 180 degrees straight facing you. This makes glancing up at the camera much more comfortable and reduces glares, reflections, etc. Gas consumption. Well, you know, there's a gas guzzler tax when you buy this car, so obviously there's gas guzzling. 12 in the city, 21 on the highway. Now, driving in the city, the C8 Z06 will certainly have poor gas consumption. I have not experienced this because I live out in the boonies and it's just not much of a downtown city life driving that I do. My fairly long distances, I can easily get about 19 miles to the gallon, and several times I've gotten around 21, maybe a little bit above that. Furthermore, I don't speed or go over 71 miles per hour, except rarely. I'm consistently very smooth and accelerate gradually as well. Primarily, I use the Z06 like I did the Stingray as a weekend cruiser. Now, here are a few screenshots of my display. Times when I got 21 miles to the gallon. Yet, when I did a calculation once, I figured I might really be getting about 20. I don't know. So the bottom line is, if you want to drive the car and get decent mileage, it is possible. Just relax with the car and don't be showing off every 10 seconds. As I just mentioned, I love to cruise in all of my Corvettes, no matter which one it was, the C5, C6, C7, the C8 Stingray, now the Z06. So if you want to try to squeeze a few more miles out of the tank of gas, here is something to play with. I can't say that I have verified this idea as actually being helpful, although I do think it might help prevent the Z06 from remaining at higher RPMs when it's just really not necessary. So here's what I do. If you're driving in tour mode and in automatic, like regular drive mode, and you're cruising down the highway, say around 65 miles an hour, try to get a little better gas mileage by doing this. You will notice that at 65 miles per hour, your car will be in 7th gear, and the tach will read at or a little below 2K. So you switch to manual mode and then shift up to the 8th gear. You'll see your RPMs go down to around 1.5K. So you can play with this a little bit and see if perhaps this will either stretch your gas consumption or maybe just let you cruise a little bit more easily at a lower RPM. And have fun with it. See what you find out. Well, here's something that I've kind of crybabied about several times. GM is aware of the display problems that I keep complaining about. My first experience was with the trip counter in my C8 Stingray. I recorded this in August of 2022. Irritating, but not a big deal. My first experiences with the Z06 was the infotainment screen being blank back in November 29th, 2023. This first time, the issues could or can be remedied with a restart of the car. My second experience with the Z06 infotainment screen being blank was back on December 18th, 2023. I was able to hit the home button a couple of times and the display activated. The third time was on December 20th, 2023, 2 days later. At this time, I was suspecting Apple CarPlay. No proof, just suspecting. Finally, my fourth time was actually dealing with the gauges screen on January 3rd of 2024. This was weirdly irritating. I was wanting to change the info tiles on the left of the display using the info tile selection menu. I scrolled down, I went through menus, pushed buttons, nothing worked. I stopped for gas, restarted the car, and then I could get the info tile selection list again. Even while back on the road, everything seemed to work just fine. Since all this is now March 23rd, 2024, so it's a couple of months later at least. But I looked at the forums a bit, and there's really not a lot out there. I get tired of looking at the forums. GM Authority had an article that stated you can reboot your infotainment system by turning the car off and back on. Well, obviously. Or while in park, you press and hold the phone hang-up button on the steering wheel for 10 seconds. I have not tried this. So maybe if I remember the next time, I'll give it a try, perhaps let you know. I looked up recall information. There was a little bit, mostly I think relative to Canada, that was over headlights. And part of that was the running lights and the position switch for how you use your lights, auto, daytime running, headlight switch function. There was some issues there, but evidently I don't have that problem and I'm in America. So I looked up Kelly Blue Book, no recalls for me. And then NHTSA, again, no recalls in my area at least. So you can get over-the-air updates. So you can check into that or just go to your dealership to have them ensure that your infotainment system software is updated properly. I hope you found this information interesting enough. I mean, it's okay stuff, and I just pump it out there because maybe it's just something you weren't aware of with the rear view mirror setup, the gas consumption, the use of manual mode in order to switch into a gear so that you can get better or more of a cruising RPM for yourself, and the displays. So hope all this was okay for you. And I guess thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. So relax, take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye.